him because I'm playing with the best players in the world. But I can go on the ice and play with Joe and Ed and have just as much fun.
But even though you're having fun, you're still challenging it. You're challenging yourself or you're challenging something.
Mark Messier's motto is live every day like it's your last, and that's sort of the way he plays. He is such a fierce competitor. He plays every game like it's going to be his last. He uses that statement often, like, fellas, there's nothing to save it for. There's nowhere to hide out there, so you play with reckless abandon. And that's how most players in the National Hockey League, I'm sure, perceive Mark Messier. Like, this guy is way out of control.
How can you give me a stick penalty because my stick broke? Because he fell down and my stick broke? Is that what?
And stay out of his way. Most of the guys on the team are pretty well an open book. You can read into what they're all about, what sort of personality they are. But for years, everyone's questioned Glenn Anderson. So there's just a mystique about him. He's extremely happy-go-lucky, and perhaps that's his dad's upbringing, being a fisherman. I mean, not that a fisherman's a simple life by any means, but it's free. It's the ability to chart the unknown, and that's where Glenn Anderson is.
Different ways I do different things at different times that a lot of people don't expect to have happen. And like what? Well, I guess you have to get to know me a little better to find out, don't you?
They say you never know what Anderson's really thinking.
Sometimes I don't.
He jumps around from milieu to milieu. I mean, one minute he's Glenn Anderson, a horse entrepreneur. The next minute he's rubbing elbows with the premier of the province. And the next minute he's barefoot in the Orient. Who knows where he's going to be?
Good, he's yelling at him, telling him to go back in there.
His style on the ice is wild, out of control style. But people talk to him about it and say, listen, I mean, you're out of control out there. You're going to kill yourself. And he goes, oh, I'm not out of control. He says, I know what I'm doing. Messier and Anderson complement each other. Glenn's happy-go-lucky in a mysterious sort of way. And Mark's happy-go-lucky in an obvious sort of way.
Go down, go down, go down!
I'm sure there was some concern from his part when he first became a professional hockey player, because he had the experience of the Olympics and he played over in Japan where he was studying, and he played hockey mainly on a social level or on a level where it was just fun, it wasn't a profession, and he heard the horror stories about the NHL. But what he found was a great bunch of guys whom all of a sudden he was having fun and became a part of.
An analogy I like to describe about this is a very bad experience that I had with a reporter from a Montreal newspaper. He had flown down to Pittsburgh to do an article, I think my first or second year. Of course, the typical, here's a doctor in a hockey team, it shouldn't work. You know, he is too smart, too intelligent. And that was the focus of his article. He tried to make the point that hockey players are very ignorant and all they know is hockey and drinking and partying, and they have no educational background. His last question to me was, well, how does it feel when you're up in your room reading medical books when the other fellows are sitting in their room reading comic books? And so, you know, I couldn't believe that anyone would ask a question like that, but of course I mentioned that certainly that's not the case, and that many of the qualities that the players show on and off the ice, the handling of the media, the fans, the pressure, the discipline and the intensity they show towards their teammates and towards the game they play, give me more respect for them than many of the doctors that I work with in the hospital.
The trick in this thing is not to think. You can go out and just automatic, put on automatic pilot.
That's the success of hockey. Never think about it. Just
Do it.
never mind thinking.
Gary, did you explain it to him? Or is he still confused? Stay on your wing, Mess.
In the case of the Finnish players that we've had over the years, there's always been one ahead of the newest ones coming that could speak English. Jari Kurri came and learnt English from Risto Siltanen, and Risto was his interpreter. And then when Esa Tikkanen and Raimo Suminen came, Jari Kurri became their interpreter. So we have to always maintain that flow of Finnish players, or we're going to break the cycle, and we're going to lose the interpreter somewhere along the line.
Okay.
Kurri is in control. He's got the perfect moves, and he's an elegant skater, and he's a fabulous stick handler. And if he was a Canadian, he'd be Jean Beliveau. And Esa Tikkanen, well, Esa, I suppose, is the Eddie Shack.
Get too much energy, you know, on the ice and off the ice. Most of the Finnish guys are more like quiet guys, easygoing guys, but this guy is full of energy. Every day, 24 hours. It's great.
Esa's just different. He's out of control. He's a Finnish project gone haywire. Esa Tikkanen should have been born in Swift Current or Thunder Bay or Chicoutimi.
Hold that. Go back again.
Mark, I'm voting no on this one again. This is too hard for them.
Gotta move the puck quick. Move it quick, Donnie, quick.
I like it now. It's getting better.
Get it up. There we go, that's it.
Now we got the flow going here now. This a new drill? You just think of this one? They all got to touch the puck before they give it the other defense.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, the man of the day, the man of the week, man of the month, the man of the year, Canada's own, Wayne Gretzky.
He's done a lot. He's accomplished a lot. He is probably the greatest player that ever played. Not only that, he's a pretty amazing person, and I love to sit back and not really analyze him, but watch him and try to understand, more so than anything, try to understand what makes him tick.
Change the board. Let's do the English one with the rest comes.
The fewer words I say, the better.
No. Really big for me this time. Are you ready? And action. Oh, Christ, what's this? Here's the ref. Jesus. Out. Love it.
He's a supernatural athlete. And at the same time, people expect him to be a supernatural person.
Heads up, heads up, heads up, heads up, please. Heads up. Hi, Gretzky.
Reporters will be huddled over him for an hour after the games, and he just does it, answers the questions. Can you imagine how many times he's had the question asked to him, well, how does it feel to be one of the greatest players in the world? I mean, every place we go to, guys ask him that question. He answers it, answers it, and answers it.
Okay, anybody, it was 2-1. It could have been easily 3-0 for them. We didn't have a good third period in the second game.
I get upset just thinking about guys asking him that same ridiculous question. And he never gets upset. I've never seen him yell at a reporter yet.
I just go out there and play my own game, and you know, tonight...
I mean, he's an ambassador to the game, and he's very similar to any diplomat. I mean, he's very similar to the president or the prime minister as far as I'm concerned. So he rarely lets his guard down. I mean, do you ever hear what Brian Mulroney or President Reagan does away from his office? I mean, you never hear about that, just like you never hear what Wayne Gretzky does.
So anyway, listen to my story. It's a unique story. 2 hours, we're sitting there, and he's going, Gretz, you see any birds? Slats, you see any birds? No. Andy, we'll call him. He's calling away. Andy, any birds? Call him. Oh, I don't know how a goose call. How's a goose call?
Same as the duck, only louder.
No. Okay, so Andy's going. So 2 hours later, we got no birds coming over. We figured out why. We were duck hunting. Andy's got a goose call.
He doesn't.